My name is Mary Heffernan of 5 Mary's Farms. 6 years ago, my husband and 4 young daughters and I decided to totally change the course of our life and move from a busy life in Silicon Valley to a rural life as cattle ranchers. And it was the best decision we ever made. Before we moved to the ranch, my husband and I lived in Silicon Valley and lived a fast-paced lifestyle. He was an attorney at a big law firm, and I had a series of small businesses, and we had 4 young girls when we were there. Everything was expensive. There was a lot of extra activities, which meant that Brian and I often would have to divide and conquer instead of doing things together as a family. I had been running 7 small businesses, and then I opened a restaurant, and it was then that we really found this desire to source really great quality meats. And when we couldn't find this year-round on any small operation, we just decided to jump in with both feet and do it ourselves. So it was in 2013 that we were looking at some properties in Northern California, and we saw that property and really just fell in love with it. And we put an offer in, and we owned it by December 27th. We looked at each other like, oh my gosh, we bought a ranch. Now we need to set up operations and start really doing this. And after 8 weekends of commuting back and forth with 4 little girls in 4 car seats at the time, we quickly found that we couldn't be ranchers on the weekend and be busy business people in Silicon Valley during the week. It was an easy decision to make when we had to choose one, and we chose ranch life. It was June that we moved to Fort Jones in far Northern California, in a town of 680 people, from a 4,000 square foot beautiful house that I loved to a 760 square foot cabin that had no amenities. When we moved to the ranch, we kind of had to start from scratch. There's so much infrastructure that goes into putting all of the right fencing and water and irrigation. I had no idea how much tractors cost. The ones we were looking at were $75,000 or $80,000, and we're gonna need 2 or 3 tractors. So a lot of the expenses in starting a ranch were shocking. It'll be 6 years in June since we moved to the ranch and committed to build this business. It took a full 1.5 years for us to actually start shipping. And then even then there was a lot of trial and error. So when we first started shipping, I'd have to drive an 1.5 hours each way for dry ice. It was a ton of work and not very efficient. We went to our little downtown to lunch, and there was a building for sale for $100,000. And that just seemed like, this is a big investment, but I can see how this is going to pay for itself very quickly. So we bought this building. We were up and running within 2 weeks. It lets us ship hundreds of boxes a week right from our farm store to customers all over the country. Life on the farm has really changed our priorities, especially financially. We used to put aside money for vacations. Now it's a lot more important to us to save money wherever we can to put back into our business. The girls play a huge part in helping us run the operation. When we moved there, they were 1 through 6 years old, and now they are 7 through 12. The older girls started really taking a lot of the duties around the house, and seeing them thrive with these new responsibilities has made them so much more independent and resourceful. The kids feel a satisfaction in that they're not just helping because it's fun, they're helping because they're needed. I've always been passionate about helping other businesses. So I created a course to help people learn how to build their own business from scratch. Seeing these moms come and say, this gave me the confidence and the tools I needed to start this business. It's really so fulfilling to see these women empowering themselves and working so hard for their families. It's only been about a year that the course has been out there, but we have 650 women in this community. And I think anybody can start a business. I always say to start small. Take whatever you feel like you can execute and that you can make profitable, and then take the next step from there. We want to keep growing our brand, but we never want to get bigger than our family and not be the ones feeding our own animals. To us, sustainability in ranching is not just a buzzword. It means that we're providing a strong foundation financially in this operation that we're building, so that if our children want to take it over, they can do it. We really find a lot of satisfaction in this small house together as a family. At the end of the day, we all come in and kind of can be cozy in our little home.